I pay many David Tamakloe Addo sa weekend idea. Namina and a nama Yasanso Ediabishi Muhanum say and I pay Dave. Good morning.
Good morning, Sammy.
Na Impomoko de. Yadasi. Yadim Kumonavi. Na Yasha Sana Pedia, Minim say ye table Sana Pay Bidi, a Auditor General's report, and Bidi and Encomo, ye table said. Ebedi enkomo afa President Akufo Addo looks for na worker say we should have a broader engagement on educational sector, free SHS and homes and some and a place all can purpose na chance for kasa senia bibia ebetimi akọ enkan some common any idea, but aside these say issue beyond ma you'd want to touch on and sana best start here.
We don't say. We chat for now. I'm saying that kind of weekend. We had an interesting weekend when the former Chief of Staff, Honorable Julius Deborah, was laying his brother to rest. We saw the creme de la creme of Ghana's political runners there. It was quite an interesting scene. I saw quite a number of people that I have not seen in a long while. It kind of gave me an impression of how what's the name? The elections are about to kick in. I mean, election preparations are about to kick in. But one significant thing is that it also shows how popular the former Chief of Staff is. But going beyond that, I think it's kind of those who I've spoken to a few people there, you know, also they be a namne.
Yeah.
So I say it gives me something. I mean, to reference it later to what we are coming to discuss this morning. Say, what to me now? Dream nipa nipa dream. I think that many have spoken about how selfless he is, how reaching he is in terms of many people in
politics.
In politics.
Because it cuts across. If you saw the people who came from the political divide.
It was from all walks of life.
Yeah.
I think that the politicians, once you touch hearts, your heart get touched as well. So it was beautiful seeing people, running up around him to support him, to lay his little brother to rest. I will stand on your platform again and express condolences, and of course join him in thanking all the people who rallied around him to do that beautiful thing over the weekend. That is what I would like to say for now.
All right. So let's get to the issues. Auditor General's report, Abba. Virtually everybody is talking about the Auditor General's report. It's not as if this is a new idea. AC anytime be Auditor General's report, there'll be noise in the country. Because we would have heard about in Jumakua, say one better to be come. Now about we are saying that's not what they are doing. And so you ask yourself, say, and oversight responsibilities of these agencies in Hong Kong. What more are responsibilities? Are they performing them well? Seeing all these agencies now have their own internal auditors as well. They are supposed to be auditing their entities now to make sure the books are balancing. In the end, Public Accounts Committee will sit. When they sit, we watch it on television. People will be asked questions. They will not be able to answer. We will laugh, we will smile, and that will be the end.
Sammy, Auditor General's report. As for the recurring nature of it, every year, the audit report bar. It is always a case. It's always a negative case. we all just, cry about it, and then we wait for the next one to come. And year on, year out, year in, year out, it looks like, say, it just gets worse. Me hear Auditor General report no more. Does pay me hear mu kakra. Na nyoma ewo mu no. Let me say on cursory note, say I don't think the Auditor General has done a very good work.
Okay.
And I say that because, well, of course, there's always a second book that must be looked into. This is more or less the summary. But I think we need to start bringing out the details and subjecting every detail to a full-blown analysis and perhaps pushing for prosecution as we've always been asking for. I was reading parts of it where he even refused to mention names of organizations which clearly have violated the law in terms of the things that they had to do. Some of them perhaps were even used for just to just prepare some figures. If you look at ECG, you look at petroleum, what's the name? National Petroleum, that's NPA. There was a particular thing I saw in the ECG where he mentioned that some contracts had been awarded. They were supposed to receive supplies, and they ordered the supplies in a foreign country. So they ordered the supply directly from the factory and got everything from from outside the country. But there were people in here who took money for doing being what's the name? Middlemen, who did no work. He recognized that, but the name of the said company was missing. If we are not careful, these things will seem like we are working, like they are auditing, that they are conforming. As the president said somewhere over the weekend that, he saying that corruption is actually doing better under the fight against corruption is doing better under his watch. I mean, which is like he being in denial, because everyone knows that this current president, this current government is superintending a very serious corruption-ridden government. There is no single department under his watch that is not, liable for corruption related issues one way or the other.
But you agree with me that, like my introduction, I said, this is not the first time we are seeing an Auditor General's report that is so indicting.
Yes.
It's awesome during the NDC's tenure as well.
Yes, and I'm saying that. You see, even if you look into this corruption, the report, I think that he's been evasive in many ways. If you pick them one after the other, unfortunately, time wouldn't allow us to go through these things one after the other. But if you look in the report, he has been quite evasive, in a way I had not seen before. I was just citing an example of one of the ECG contracts that supplies were being taken from, I think, China also, and it was taken directly from the factory. Yet there were people here who were paid over $2 million, dollars for, being, the ones doing the contract. Meanwhile, the ECG office ordered the goods directly from China. There are many, countless ones in this report. And you see, if you prepare a report and you are being evasive like that, it tells us what it is. I mean, there has been so many doubts over this, what's the name? Auditor General. And I'm saying that the report will look like, corruption has been exposed in the report, but if you look into it, it's more or less covered. That's how I see it. I think that it is not difficult for anyone to see what is going on. The lifting it beyond the Auditor General's report, the family and friends governance, where you put your family members, your brothers, your nieces, your children, your friends in political space. What happens is that when they are misbehaving, you cannot question it. Why are we where we are? It's simple. We have laws in this country which says that every money that is received in tax, in loans, and in other any other fund that comes to government must go into a consolidated fund. And that at the end of the day, before the year begins, the finance ministry is required to present a budget to Parliament. Parliament look through the budget and then say, approve that you can use this money, you can use that money, you can use that. And there are laws which limit everyone to the user to follow the budget. That you cannot go outside the budget. If you do not go by the budget, you need to go back to Parliament and ask for authorization in case there is an emergency or there is a reason that you must, deviate from the budget. You go back to Parliament and ask Parliament that put the issue before Parliament and say, look, we ask for 10,000 Ghana cedis, but there is a need to use 12,000 Ghana cedis. So can you approve another 2,000 for us? And then Parliament will then say yes or no. Then you go and spend it. If Parliament says no, you can't spend it because you are spending on behalf of the people. It is not your money. It is not your pocket money. You are spending it on behalf of the people. So you go back to Parliament and there are laws to that effect. And in these days, it becomes so blatant that people are not scared of the laws that are governing us. And because, when they flout the law, they can refer us to court where, confidence is deepening. You see? So, simply, we have a public financial management system which governs all our the financial sector, monies that come in, monies that are expended. So, and then if you do not fall, and these laws are there because we realize the possibility of people, doing things their own way and getting away with it. So the laws are there. If you want to spend money, you go by the law. The same government, when they were in opposition, made a lot of criticism about how the then government were misapplying funds and were not sticking to the laws. They came to government, and it looks like it's become so normal to flout the law. It has become so normal to flout the law. The what's her name? Parliament itself sits there. Of course, when you ask them, they say they are doing their best and all that. But Parliament is composed of they are representation of the people. Every constituency, we take it, every individual in this country is to be represented by a parliamentarian, except, of course, our brothers in Seoul, who are still not being represented. So, how did it happen that all these authorities are in place, the laws, the representations who are to question how these expenses are made? There's a procurement, what's the name? A procurement unit in Parliament, public procurement, the one that Aveji is heading.
I'm lost.
It's a committee. This committee that okay, it will come. I mean,
Public Accounts
Public
Committee.
Account Committee. Where we move from to from here is to take this report to Public Accounts Committee. They are supposed to be calling all of them and asking whether you have done this. The same thing that the Auditor General is supposed to have done. He is supposed to go, and if the auditor even has more resources in terms of human resources and technicalities to even probe these companies even more than even Public Account Committee. But we are going to just reenact what the Auditor General has done, perhaps even in a more milder way, at the Public Account Committee, and it ends there. The following year, we go back and do the same. Where do we move to from here? I think that if you look at the general picture, the way corruption has been made normal in the Akufo Addo's government, you will realize that what is contained in this Auditor General's report is small. Look, if you see the kind of things, the rots that are happening, the corruption, what has been covered in this report is small. Yes, 10 billion Ghana cedis is said to be what is wasted. But people are taking millions in dollars. Even as we cry that our country's economy is going bad, there are people who are taking millions in dollars in blatant corruption, from the presidency to the last agency of government. And the president knows about it. The people who are paid to watch, the people who are paid to look into these matters and to prevent this, are themselves involved. Why? I saw a report this morning where DC and the BNI couple have been arrested over missing excavators. Don't we know about excavators, over 500 excavators that got missing under the watch of the president and his staffers and chief of staffs were involved? We knew about it. Where did that end us? So, Sammy, to be honest with you, this report, we're just going to be, singing about it again, just as if you don't have anything to do. But in the end, it is the same song.
Dave, if you look at the provisions of the Constitution, especially when it comes to the Auditor General's Act, and after the presentation of the report to Parliament, it's interesting that you see the activities of Parliament, the Public Accounts Committee's work, as being far milder in terms of approach than what the Auditor General is doing. But if you follow the Public Accounts Committee's settings, you realize that there have been instances where police have been invited for the sittings and people have been whisked away immediately after the session is done. You remember that there have been instances where people immediately after they've come, they take them away. But the issue has to do with the internal auditing mechanisms within these state agencies themselves, because that is why there are audit departments in these agencies. Virtually all of them have their agencies, their audit departments in these agencies. So you ask yourself, how is it that these internal audit departments are not able to uncover these? But they would have to take the Auditor General's department virtually every year to be the one to uncover these things.
Well, let's just say that they are double checking. Maybe the internal mechanisms available. That is not to give any excuse. The internal mechanisms available. There's frailty everywhere. But it's possible that the internal mechanism may not be robust enough to check everything. And that's why there are supposed to be external auditors. And then, apart from the external auditors, also the Auditor General, it's also the Auditor General's department. So you see about 3 different auditors there who are auditing the same account. I think that we must find a way to bring in even the auditors, the external auditors, made them all liable to whatever goes wrong in those departments. You see, problems when you see mischiefs like this, problems like this, the only way to progress is to find solutions for them. What solutions have we been providing in the past years? What have we, for many years now, Auditor General report comes, there are scandals, there are corruption, irregularities. What have we been doing after getting to know what the problem is? That, for instance, some receipts, purchases were not receipted, and so the Auditor General recommends that it be receipted the next time. We go back and the same thing is in the books. How do we come up from there? You understand? So it's not just a matter of just writing the report and leaving it there every year doing same. If you talk about the Public Accounts Committee, look, when you talk to them, they tell you we are not being properly resourced. They need to go from department to, and I disagree to that, having to go from department to department, because it's the same thing the internal auditor did, it's the same thing the external auditor did, and it's the same thing the Auditor General's report, Auditor General's department also did. We need to move on from just going visiting, and to your surprise, anytime they go there, somebody is going to take money. Somebody takes money, and they take that money. Where is the money coming from? They go to this department, somebody pass money through so that they can close the books and go.
But do you have any evidence?
I'm saying that, but
when,
for
when
that,
they,
but for that,
go there,
but for
I
that,
mean, there's, because these are people who are supposed to go and cure that, ill
yes,
in the system.
So if they are
if you are suggesting that they would go there and rather because they have an interest to go,
but why are they overlooking the monies we are talking about here? 10 billion. Where did it go waste? Somebody has been put to audit even the orders before they go out. What happened? Then the external auditor who is to write that, oh, the internal auditor did, or the department did their job well and blah, 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 this money is missing, it should be retrieved. If this thing is checked at that point, then it wouldn't get to the Auditor General's department or into the Auditor General's report where the same defect is still reflecting. It is only when something is happening there. And our society is money. Everybody goes take and then overlook the problem. And so we are going to be talking about, we'll talk about it for a while and we leave it. The problem persists.
I was reading an article on one of the tabloids where Honorable Roxanne Dafiamepo was making the case that Parliament should be given some prosecutorial powers, the Public Accounts Committee for that matter. Do you share that view?
Parliament's powers perhaps are even more than, in this context, more than what the Auditor General, even the police may have. Parliament can order anything. They don't need any prosecutorial powers. Prosecute where? We still have to go to the same court, which the CID man will go. You understand? So procurement, Public Account Committee, I think would have rather surmised all the problems that have emanated from the internal auditor up to the Auditor General's level and procure some solution for it. Not to just go back to the same processes that were undertaken by the internal auditor, the external auditor, and the Auditor General's department. We are just wasting money because all these places, monies are paid, monies are spent for them to do this work. Okay? So that is another set of money being wasted that we are not looking at. It's about time we start thinking practical. What will work? What will solve our problems? But there again, Mr. Politician is hiding there. He oversees all this and pretend he hasn't seen it. Okay? And, they splash money all around. Who is accounting for all the monies they are splashing around? When we talk about COVID, when you see the reports on COVID, you realize that some monies have been misapplied there. We disjoint it from when the woman in the told us that monies were allocated to party chairmen, party executives, up to the lowest level in the party. Where did that money came from? You see, so we need to link them up. Where is the money coming from? When you go to COCOBOT, in 2020, I have done thorough research on COCOBOT and put it out that they were giving contracts that were not necessary. They were giving it to party apparatchiks. If you hold party card, you go and then you can take some fertilizer to go and distribute. That's what they were doing. I've had issue with the COCOBOT. They went to, what do they call it? National Media Commission. We ended there. Today, the report is saying the same thing I have said. So much amount of money is missing from COCOBOT. In the name, they have not been retrieved. They will never retrieve it because it's gone to party apparatchiks. They will never get to retrieve those monies because it was distributed or was given away in bad faith. Check the report and see how much COCOBOT, There are instances where, look, when Mahama was president, they were giving fertilizer for free, weren't they? They were giving fertilizer for free. The current government came and said that they were not going to give free fertilizers anymore. And that they were going to sell the fertilizer.
As subsidized?
As subsidized, yes. Where is the proceeds from their sales? How much have they retrieved? Check. How much have they retrieved?
So Dave, what's the solution to this annual ritual of Auditor General's report comes, Public Accounts Committee sits, media makes noise about it, and we make, juice out of it for 2 weeks or some 3 weeks. It ends there. Nobody lands in prison. Monies are not recovered, and then it ends there. How do we solve this then once and for all? Because there are state agencies which have a mandate to ensure that there isn't any corruption in these institutions. So you remember the SIGA reports that came out, which told us how most of these state institutions are underperforming. And yet, most of these same institutions, when you check the Auditor General's report, you find the amount of money that is leaving the accounts of these institutions. And yet, they are supposed to be underperforming. So that how do we solve this problem once and for all? That this time around, it's not going to be the usual when the 2022 Auditor General's report is made ready in 2023.
Sami, as I've said, there is a big problem of corruption. If you break it down, there is one end where the technical people who are supposed to solve the problem down there either turn the other way for two possible reasons. That the person who is corrupting that office is more powerful than them, or let me say three, or they don't understand why they are there, or even they themselves are probably don't deserve to even be there, or they probably also corrupting themselves. Either way. Then you move from that end, from state to state, where political party members, activists, who will say, we voted for this person, it is our party, they would also seem more powerful than the technical guys. And therefore, you remember when former was it National Security, BNI guy in Kumasi was dragged from his office by, MPP activists, invisible forces. So a typical case like that, if it happens in a department or agency, and the accountant or auditor is supposed to check and see whether this receipts, procurement is being done appropriately or not, you know what would happen. So there's some sort of fear in those departments, which maybe the preventing the technical people from doing their work. And you move from there all up, where President has put his, what's the name, his brothers, his nephews, cousins in places. A typical case of finance minister, when he's taking money from the system and putting it in his bank, would you be able to comment? You can't. When people talk about it, he says, oh, they are doing very well. That when Ken Ofori-Atta was financing the party, where were those who think that he's my brother? So that same scenario you see at the top, where Ken Ofori-Atta, the cousin of the president, is the finance minister. His other brothers littered around all the, ministries and departments. It's the same thing that goes down. You hear an MP saying, oh, I put these people in this place and all that, and now campaigning that they should vote for him to be flag bearer because he made people go into the military and all that.
But is that not what is done over the years?
I mean,
MPs place their constituents, they look for jobs for them, whether it's in the forces, whether it's in any of the government institutions. MPs do that.
Yes, but when it is, I mean, it's on record that there are people who are walking into those places who don't deserve to be there. True. By way of merit. They are not merit. They don't merit.
It's not meritorious.
So that is the scenario we create from the scratch, from the lowest level of government departments to the top echelon of politics and governance. That is what is placing us in this situation where every year we have to go back and be reading how much billions have been, what's the name? Embezzled, how much irregularities you have recorded and, all that. Right. That is exactly what it is. We have to step back from there and make sure that everything we do is on merit. And of course, we cannot say this without re-echoing how corruption at the top is affecting the down.
All right. Now, let's move on to our second issue because we have 10 more minutes before we go for a breather and then we activate the phone lines again.
I thought today I'll have double this since my brother didn't come.
But so far, I've given you a double.
You are trying.
Yes, your double dose. So the president says that we need to have broader engagement, broader consultation, broader, conversation about our educational system. There have been concerns about a review of the free SHS program. And several other prominent Ghanaians, educationists, civil society organizations, pastors, who have all called for us to have a second look at the free SHS program. The president says that, look, we need to have an engagement on our educational system. Your thoughts on that?
So, if I were President Akufo Addo, I'll keep quiet. I'll keep my mouth shut. Because all these things that he's saying now, people have said them before, except he didn't have foresight. You recall, when the debate on free SHS hit the roof, there were discussions from his opponents that, look, the Constitution guarantee free SHS, free education, up to the highest level. It was for the want of resources that they couldn't go for it. He went on the populist route. And even when, it was also he benefited from it, he still kept on deceiving himself that he was going to work. And I'm not one of the people who think free SH was not going to work. I think it would have worked, but for the usual corruption that it was bedeviled with. So today, look, even after he won the election with the free SHS, it needs to be reviewed. Hypocritically, the president said review meant he was going to scrap it if he was voted for. So when he said that there is a need to review it, is he saying that he's going to scrap it? Let's say, put it that is his understanding of review. Is he saying that he's going to scrap it? That is the problem our president had. Very hypocritical on issues and petty on issues. Very partisan and populist. Other than that, you were the one who just 2020, you told us, Mahama said, oh, he was going to review the free SHS. And now, and that means he's going to scrap it. So where is it now that has it gone into the dictionary to see the meaning of review?
But if you listen to the president, he wasn't directly referencing the free SHS program. He was referencing our educational system in totality. Because you see, what transpires at the basics level is what is carried along into the secondary and then again into the tertiary.
People have called for same. People have called for review of free SHS. You cannot talk about educational system without talking about free SHS. The problem identified with free SHS, even at that time when the experts were talking about it, was that you are moving people from a certain level into a certain system. You need resources, and you need resources to make sure it works. And at the time, the resources weren't available. So let's do it gradually. Build schools, make sure we have enough teachers, the books, and all that should be available. He didn't adhere to any of those. Indeed, he used the schools building against his opponent. He came and started, what's her name? The shift system all of a sudden. And we got to a situation where students who were supposed to be in school for 3 months, go 2 weeks, and come back and go again. I mean, the whole educational system is in shambles. This call for review. But the reason he has to be saying educational system instead of free SHS is because what he has done has destroyed the entire educational system.
Now, if you listen to the president, he makes the point that if indeed it is as you say, then check out the results of the students who pass out of the senior secondary
What
school.
report? The report that results. we get result that we get, we keep hearing from WAEC how, its credibility is going down. Is that the report he's talking about?
Is it in the case of leaked papers?
I mean,
is that what you're referencing?
I'm saying that we have had all those reports.
But it doesn't mean that in generality, the results that has come, because at the end of the day, if indeed the free SHS program was a quantitative one and not a qualitative one.
Of course, that is what it is.
Like by now, we should be here seeing the screaming headlines suggesting of the failure level when it comes to the results that comes out at the end of the day from students who have come through the system, especially batch 1, who were the first batch and then the second batch. We would have seen the results being terrible, but that has not been the case.
I have not had time to look at the report, any data on whether they are doing well, what numbers have gone to the schools and what numbers are coming out, as having passed very well and all that. But I am aware that many parents are decrying the state of education now. If you expert in education, I mean, how do you expect that for all 5 years, students have not had textbooks to study with? I mean, and in most cases, they spend fewer hours in school than they spent in previous years. It's not a rocket science. You cannot tell me that that system is better than what we have. If indeed they've gone and passed, that cannot be synonymous to quality education.
I am trying to look for the WASSCE results for you.
And I'm saying that if you look at the result, I don't know what the results are saying, but if you look at the result, that may not give you a better picture of whether or not the education system we have now is a qualitative or quantitative one, to borrow your words. If you want to know, you do analysis. And we are all aware that there are no textbooks for the students, that they spend lesser hours in school than before, that in most cases, there are places that teachers are not even having access. So this system cannot be better than the one before, except if we are to say that the teachers, the teacher to student ratio has been better now, and that the students have been supplied with some sort of computers, and they can read their textbook and research from their computer. That's not the case.
Well, I am looking at data, and if you look at the data, David, the data would tell you, and this is a CTFM story 2 years ago. It says comparative analysis of WASSCE core subjects from 2016 to 2020. And it gives you a table. Now, on that table, they give you a breakdown of 2016, 2017, 2018, different subjects. That's English, maths. Okay, now I really don't know their subjects very well. But science is also there. And then they've written SSTD. I hope I'm seeing it right. Now, you realize that if the results have been good, because in 2016 English, for instance, percentage in terms of, those who go between A1 and C6, it was 53.2. This was in 2016. In 2017, it was 54. In 2018, it was 46. In 2019, it was 49. In 2020, it was 57.3. Maths, it was 32.8. 2017, 42.7. 2018, 38.3. 2019, it was 45. And then 2020 is 65.7. And these numbers have been appreciating from 2016. If you look at science as well, it's been appreciating. So if you take these 4 subjects, it's been appreciating. And what else can we use to judge the performance of the system, if not for the results we are seeing?
The reason you need to be careful in resorting to numbers is that numbers make more sense when they come in full. What you have said there, you have not told me how many people did the science, okay? So that the percentage would be compared to the other set of people.
I said, the numbers increase.
No, we are talking about the number. You are talking about rates. You're talking about what percentage got past the subject. And I'm saying that you need to appreciate how many people actually took the exam.
Yes, but you agree with me that over the years, from 2016 up to now, the number of people who have been sitting for the examination as a result of the free SHS is higher than that of 2016.
Yeah, but you are talking about subject specifics.
Yes.
So we need to talk about those numbers.
But even if you talk about subject specifics, it will be higher than the previous years.
We can't assume.
No, that's what's been the case. Access. But hold on one second, we are getting some breaking news to the effect that there's been a fire outbreak at Dadeɛ Suaba Nursing Training College. Their hostel has been destroyed by fire, and this is in Goso area in the Brahafo region. And so we are joined by our correspondent, Atiwin Mohammed, who is a reporter for Success FM in Goso. Atiwin, good morning. Hello, good morning, Atiwin. Hello? All right. I believe that we would rather take our usual breather.
Yes, please.
Yes, Atiwin, enormous design of pay.
Boko.
Yenya ntie se dade so aba. Hostel a wonum for nursing trainees on one no eja atomo. When you abeti my update kakra.
Jo. Medase na me chia otiefo anupe. Enra yimre beye nonum. VR ansana no anopa no omode enkaebo ebae kiremu se ayade omubedum enkanea. Enti omudum no fiti anopa beye no wotwe saa kopem se nonum epe mu pepepe ena omosoye. Sabre na omosoye no ena mpenifo a omowo dade so aba nursing training college kiremu se wohwɛ ɛyɛ enura bra omoso light na yade a kyerɛkyerɛ ni a wohwɛ ɛyɛ adisuafoɔ girls hostel a ɛwɔ hɔ no ɛfrɛ mmɔfra no nyinaa sɛ ɔmo mmra na wɔn wɔn ɛnyɛ meeting tumu nyinaa epie bae ya ɔmo ɛte ɛyɛ hostel n'anim a ɔmo ɛyɛ meeting prɛko pɛ ɛna ɔmo hu sɛ light no baeɛ ɛna wusie esi aseɛ efiri ɛyɛ hostel hɔ. Edi eba who hostel na efa students mako 218 na aye emma nko na eba sa no the suafo ne echechefo ya omuwo school mu ye se omu betimi akokosesa omu noma enso omu ntimi anwura mesan se ehyiase ewo hostel no anim enti na omu ntimi enwura edan ni mu na omu akokofa bibia mprempra amene wukase uniform sa enkwada no ebehye afen so omonoma nyinara certificate laptops ahodoɔ ene noma omudisua de omonta de bags ahodoɔ mattress ahodoɔ ni nyina no etimi exchange empenifo omwo dade so aba nursing training na no wo certificate south mensin mu wa mantemu eye se o mefra fire tender na o matimi afiri aye certificate south district assembly me kire fidiem etimi de aba omofra omo no na omu kire mu se omo no fire tender na stay nti mefra go sofo na chese hafo mantemu ekropon yemu omu frɛ yɛn na omu so omu fire tender na stay omu frɛ asutifi no omu so omu fire tender na stay asuti etano no offense out yina no na chese mensi ne mako ensia wa hafo mantemu no fire tenders ni na asɛn enti chese fire service for no etu pick up ekopie mu awo school mu adesuafo no hu sa no omu bufui na omu epa omu abo ama omu nyina so etimi adwane ye efiri hɔ enti mprempra me no wukase anopai na mpenifo eyese nnura najo no omu pɛ ba bi ya lecture horse ne bi na omu ma enkwada no ekoda ye anopai mpenifo yi ekyerem so omu bɛkɔ meeting yame ya adoma meeting no omu wie ya omu bɛpɔn adesuafo no na omu atimi akofie na yame ya adom na sɛ omu ya ba bi ankora na bɛda na omu atimi asama omu aba school no ba ye nkyɛ 2016 ena mpenifo ete school na esanse wonim Ghana sedi yeseti school foforo eseti no ye hyase a na agya dan ne ye mienu miensa bi ntino ena omu de hyase ntino ho girls hostel no aye ba akopɛ ena wo school mo eno enso ena atimi ahye no enti sɛ disuafo no ebetena school mo de a enya de omeya ba bia da na omeya ba bia so ade esanse lecture house no kwa no enso emprempre amene wo kase nadmo ena afen so regional minister honorable George Abuache ena member of parliament edema certificate south honorable Collins Dauda omu nyina eba ho eno anajo no epe mattress ahodoɔ blankets ahodoɔ bucket ahodoɔ cap ankra no ede be nom nsuo ne ade ede eboa wo mu anajo ne de ne mum kwa na ombeko fie sanse omu ni dan a omu bedem prepare me no kasa de omu so mantimi amfa bibia
Yo, onia ebedo ase for a update here odi abre but udi wani bua obetimi amahu the number of students bia I'm sure it might be difficult as a result of this fire outbreak can affect you almost students are affect you almost.
Okay, see the medical kan nipa 218 and omote dan nemu na teacher ni a ohwa won so kire say omu nyina e wo school no mu a enya de a obi ekofie into omu nyina 218 students and atimi affect one.
All right, me do say minua say odi update we e dey free go so mpatamu odi abena no pay e wo dwumedi ne so. Babe, so ni say go so minimum hopa. When you go so minimum hopa.
Minimum hopa.
Minimum hopa.
No.
Yeah, dia grow hoping.
Sir.
Dia grow.
Na papa ton radio.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Interesting.
Call me Makwana.
Okoho. Well, Dave, you're asking me, and I was telling you, say, as a result of the access, the numbers have been going up. And indeed, and some of can far away information into the statistics released by WAEC indicated that a total of 375,763 candidates from 976 schools entered for the examination. The figure is 8.6% higher than that of the 2019 candidates of 346,098. So as a result of the access now, obviously the numbers increased. But the enani humbrana eba yentua and komodutwe no eso. All right, yeba to us. Morning show. Just a quick reminder to our viewers and our listeners. Say, I pay say Odo feeling not to Hanum say na SIC for CM Bonnie Dewini and Cow said, but more with 60 Ghana cedis. With me, I ensure Obano ni education na ekobase ochine so uni honoma na akoda ne ho ankwa nkokyere no eba ne accommodation eba ne feeding eba ne transportation eba no de obetim de abɔ ne ho bra de ye fa ne say ne na wodo ho ahyemu wa sign it on what you 60 Ghana cedis na nyame ema ne ma ne sa nyame pa ochine chi anase ochine chi anase next week bibi boni bi ekusi a you are covered. Until from that time, the emphasis was year one. From year one, now copying year 4, we will course no. Or more ever funding in a hooker. A tier at the amount. Umpering up a day. But you, as for more the campus secure a year insurance or more the upper. So jump on board. Now, you know, to be insecure in future. Mr. Opa and friend Diago and friend Diago. Fahujimu na future na any guarantee. GMABC Fantasy League who's so common and new woody. For code way na fato ho. EMZWC5. EMZWC5. Sa code way fato ho. So ni bi EMZWC5. Fato ho. The entire American church fato ho no and they say minia. When you say Fantasy League, you know, winning. Obobi el baby. But a hono oba a good day can a moody. But over here, GMABC Fantasy League, a Bushiani Bia, Minia, you stand the chance of winning cash. 10,000 Ghana cedis. Yes. What to them are who fix it, your arrangement of a team, manager, players, Albertfield, or more, and no man, GMA is giving you the opportunity to win 10,000 Ghana cedis cash. About 3 weeks ago, yes, I believe. And Abrantia will win the last one. Obaya, he had the 10,000 Ghana cedis edition. He was a student, medical science student at K University. Obaya, he had the 10,000 Pudu edition in same. Say one for Enko Bonohobra. And to me, John, don't just play Fantasy League with any other group. We are play the JMABC Fantasy League and stand the chance of winning 10,000 Ghana cedis. But you could know EMZWC5. EMZWC5. Na for who ever dome. It's probably powered by YFM, ETV Ghana, and Happy 98.9 FM. Dave, you're a few minutes and sana Jumediano. Ebaba Nevi. I don't know, say if you would want to still touch on the education bit and I say quickly, yeah, end the conversation. No? Canada Moahun Sensem. You know.
Canada Moa, yeah, you know. Let me say it was long coming. There have been so many irregularities going on at the port. And people have spoken about it severally. Most of them were done by the same method I was telling you, where the president and his people think they are more powerful than the technical people doing the work. So when the bubble burst, they threw the more under the table. Okay? I think that the people who are mishandling the port I mean, Canada Moore is retired. He shouldn't be there to even see this removal or his dismissal, if I may say. But the people who are corrupting the port, they take feed from the presidency. Look, we have seen a lot of things and reported a lot of things that have happened at the port there. If you talk about the LaBianca case, it's just one by minute part of the port's problem. The national security guys, BNI people who ravage the port every time to do what they will do for their personal interest. It's on record. They are all on record. Diversion of cargoes belonging to hard-working business people and all that. And they are putting all that on the footstep of Colonel Damwa. Where is Amish Addo? Is he not the Commissioner General? What happens to him? Amish Addo, Reverend Amish Addo, is higher than Colonel Damwa.
But in terms of the investigation which the OSP did, for which if you read the report states that Colonel Damwa admitted
that what?
About the wrongdoing when it comes to the LaBianca case. He admitted.
What?
In terms of the issuance of those values that were given LaBianca.
Yes, but if you go into it, look, the issuance of value has been given LaBianca by the presidency.
How is the presidency involved in this?
Well, I mean, you may not understand, but
this is a port issue. So, Dave, how does the president come in or the presidency come in?
Look, on that fateful day, when investigations were going on about LaBianca, the vice president was there. Look, there are things that we have, you know,
to do what? The vice president was there to do what?
It will be another whole page of this LaBianca issue. It may come sometime later. But I'm saying that the presidency is heavily involved in the LaBianca case. If it is false, they should come and arrest me. And there are proofs. You understand? This Kenneth Damwa that they said they have is being, well, the man is even retired. If a man is retired and is no longer a staff according to our laws, how do you dismiss that person? Somebody must rather be paying for keeping him there. And I'm saying that they are just throwing the man under the bus because, you know, they found a space to put his name in. What happened to those BNI boys, national security boys, who played major roles in the chief of staff's office, all those ones? What happened to them? So they should stop it. I mean, they should stop throwing dust in the eyes of the people.
Who played what role? Because the special prosecutor doesn't mention any of these national security boys. And you are not also mentioning any national security boy.
No,
you are only
I have mentioned names. If you follow my look, if you go into this LaBianca issue, I went into the LaBianca matter. Did anybody invite me? No. Because they don't want to know that. They know the truth already. They don't want to know it from me. Okay? And I'm saying that there are many, many of that. Look, Sammy, are we not hearing that? Have you seen the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel recently? Have you seen the state? That edifice there is for the government. Okay? Obviously, there is in a bad state now. Haven't we had a situation where the president gave 80 million tax waivers to his in-law? Did you not hear it? How much do we need to revamp La Palm? Are we not told that the Golden Tulip, in which government has interest, has been offloaded to Lebanese? How much do we need to put that thing back to a state class, what's the name?
First class.
First class hotel. So look, There's so much going wrong, and obviously the president can't see because he's in the middle of it. Okay? And I'm not the one. Look, we say the ones we can say. But as for the issue of Kenneth Damwa being removed, it's a mediocre, action taken by the president. He is neck deep in the entire corruption at the port and the LaBianca case. So they should stop throwing dust in the eyes of the public.
All right. Well, Dave, we would have to end the conversation here. I would thank you for making time. I was just going through the report while you were making the point, and I would like to thank our viewers.
I mean, it's today that you see people who are the corrupt ones pointing fingers at the judge. Look at, I thought we were going to even go into what President Mahama said about the court.
Yempensi Hanope. Yanani ho. Na yeba na enyumpa ene di share wo. Na happy sports. Yo, happy sports. And so the sports ebro.